Bylaws are the backbone of every school council. They make sure that councils run smoothly so its members can work towards improving student success at their school. This webinar episode will cover the basics of bylaws, including what they are and how to develop them. We'll wrap up with some tips, samples, and templates to help you get started on making bylaws that suit your school council. But first, it's important to understand what bylaws are. Bylaws are the rules that guide how your school council operates. Essentially, they provide the foundation for your council to keep everything running smoothly and on track. The ministry requires that councils have bylaws covering election procedures, filling vacancies, conflict of interest, and conflict resolution. There are other bylaws councils may choose to create, like the roles of council executives, code of ethics for members, and specific member rights and duties. Bylaws don't need to be created annually, but they should be reviewed. They help new members understand how the council operates. Bylaws should be simple, clear, and concise. They need to be easily understood by anyone, not just school council members. They shouldn't be overly restrictive or too detailed either. Bylaws are there to help maintain order, not to restrict discussion or decision-making. Most importantly, these bylaws should reflect how your school council currently operates. Look at your school council structure and membership as well as your school's challenges, strengths, and population. These factors will likely influence your bylaws. As your school and school council changes, you should adjust your bylaws to best reflect your current situation. It's also important to ensure your bylaws are consistent with ministry and board policy. It's not necessary to have a separate constitution for your school council. Instead, the Ministry Regulation 612 and the Peel Board School Council Policy act as your constitution. If a council already has a constitution of its own in place, the council may choose to continue it as long as it doesn't conflict with the regulation or board's policy. You should consider forming a bylaws subcommittee to help develop a list of bylaws that work for your school council. It may also help to start with some samples and templates, which can be found by clicking on School Councils in the Parent section of peelschools.org. When you meet to write the bylaws, set up a laptop, projector, and screen. Distribute hard copies of the template bylaws. Work through them one by one, making edits directly on the laptop, which will then be projected on the screen. This allows the group to see changes as they're being made. Don't forget, your bylaws must also follow the ministry regulation and the Peel Board's policy governing councils. The school council is responsible for enforcing its own bylaws. Consider creating a binder and bringing them to every council meeting. This webinar was jam-packed with information about bylaws. We covered the definition of bylaws, as well as some ways to develop bylaws for your school council. Finally, we learned a few tips to creating the most ideal bylaws for your school council, making sure to keep bylaws simple, unrestrictive, and relative. If you have any questions, need clarification, or want to just bounce an idea off someone, contact the Communications and Community Relations Support Services Department. We're more than happy to help. To learn more about school councils, watch other episodes from the webinar series available at peelschools.org. Click on School Councils under the Parent section. There you'll also find tip sheets and other resources about school councils.